Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Correct 1996 Entertainment Network. And it is now time for a very long-awaited update on this particular VHS collection. This time, I am giving an updated collection of all of my Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection tapes, which includes most of many of the classics that I own, minus some others. And I'm also featuring two of the only Gold Classic Collection movies that I have here. So, let's go ahead and get started with the collection of my Walt Disney Masterpiece tapes. First, we're going to start off with the film that started off Disney's collection of masterpieces, and to start off the Masterpiece Collection, his very first movie, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This movie came out in 1937. This was also Walt Disney's very first feature to come out of this era. A landmark in the history of animation, says the New York Times. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is the definite Disney masterpiece. The first feature-length animated feature ever made. It is timeless in its perfection and remains the most revered of all Disney films. Of course, this was the first one to come out in 1937 and was distributed by RKO Radio Pictures, which was the original distributor for the Disney films before Buena Vista in the 1950s. The print date on here is October 3rd, 1994. Alright, let's go ahead and put it back in. And now on to the next tape in the collection. Next movie we have is Pete's Dragon from 1976 or 75. One of the post-Walt Disney era tapes. Walt Disney era movies, I meant. Now you can own most of the celebrated and beloved film collection on video, inspired by Walt Disney's extraordinary vision. You will want to collect each treasured masterpiece family keepsakes for every generation. Enchanting entertainment, says the Hollywood Reporter. And yes, I have watched most of these movies in full and checked them out, the openings and the closings and stuff, on WCES TV 20, which is my alternate account. One of three alternate accounts that I have. The print date on here is August 22, 1994. And we have a business reply card here. I wouldn't recommend mailing this anywhere. This is no longer a thing. And we put it back in and on to the next movie. Also, I do not take requests for VHS collections, like I said before. And the same goes for my archive.org account, too. Anyway, that's beside the point. The next movie is the second movie after Walt Disney's death, Robin Hood. Probably one of the lesser-known Disney films to come out of the 1970s. A full parade of the Disney ingenuity. This is the Daily Variety. This was my favorite when I was a kid. I also had the Gold Classic Collection DVD of this movie, but unfortunately I no longer have it since it got ruined pretty much. The print date is September 25th, 1984. Okay. Next movie we have, and this is a movie that I posted the previews to on my main channel, Mary Poppins, featuring Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke. This film came out in 1964. I own three versions of Mary Poppins, one with the Neon Mickey, the one with the Sorcerer Mickey printing, and of course this version I have right here. Sheer delight to the eye, the ears, and the senses, says Newsweek. Winner of 5 Academy Awards, including Best Actress, Best Song, and Best Visual Effects, Mary Poppins has become one of Walt Disney's most fondly and cherished film classics. Absolutely. I mean, this movie itself is brilliant in every single aspect of this film. Print date on here is February 2nd, 1996, and this is the only one. This is one of only tapes I have that have the Masterpiece Collection logo with the distorted Walt Disney Classics music dubbed over the Masterpiece Collection logo in its full form, by the way. Alright, we have Disney's 32nd full-length anime masterpiece, The Lion King. One of my very personal favorites growing up. This is also my sister's favorite movie from her time as well. My sister and I would watch this movie a lot, and I do mean a lot. We would recite every line, recite most of the songs. Honestly, I loved this movie as a child. And take a look at the critique there. The greatest wonder of all time, says the Los Angeles Times. Yeah, this movie is a really good one. And here's the tape itself. The print date is January 11th, 1995. Yeah, the only thing that changes within the versions of the 1995 VHS of The Lion King are different versions of the Angels in the Outfield promo that appears after the Cinderella promo. And speaking of the Masterpiece Collection, I also want to show the laser discs of some of the Masterpiece tapes that I own. Masterpiece laser discs, I mean. I'll bring the laser discs out right now, and I'll get to those when I get to them. Hang on 1 second, people. This is going to take a while. If I can find the damn... damn. Oh, darn it. Aha, there you are. Probably shouldn't place my laser disc so bottom down. Anyways, here we are with the letterbox laser disc of the Walt Disney Masterpiece release of The Lion King. A THX Laserdisc surround sound, which is also featured in this Laserdisc. Digital sound, Dolby Surround, AC3 digital, and stereo. And of course the same critiquing as the VHS tape. Pretty much. And I also want to show you the Laserdisc. Alright. Here it is. And here's side 2. Alright, let's go ahead and put the disc back in, and we'll start off with the next VHS tape. Nine minutes on the camera, and next movie we have is Dumbo! Oh, ho, ho. This is Disney's 4th film that came out in 1941. Also, you can see some of the scenes on YouTube as uploaded by Patrick Garahu, Anthony Craig, and Defense Fan 345, aka Brendan. A film you will never forget since the New York Times. And another business reply card. The print date on here is March 19th, 1996. I was only 2 months old. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I will try and be as chronological I can with these tapes. However, some print dates may vary. Keep in mind. Next movie we have is Cinderella. Walt Disney's 12th movie. And of course, featuring the villain, Lady Tremaine, although she's nowhere to be seen in the cover art. Sheer joy and enchanting, says USA Today. Jockeys and his other mouse friends. Of course, the king and the butler. And here's the tape itself. And the print date on here is June 18th, 1995. Just 5 days before Pocahontas came out to theaters. And speaking of which, this version does not have the video game promo for Pocahontas. It just has the Walt Disney World promo, the Toy Story theatrical trailer in widescreen. Of course, there are two versions of that. Of course, there are two versions of the Toy Story preview on the 1995 Cinderella VHS, which one in widescreen and one in full screen. And then, of course, the Santa Claus preview, the preview for Pocahontas, and then the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection, pretty much. And the feature presentation, the Masterpiece Collection, and the star of the film. And you do have the Buena Vista logo on the VHS copy. However, you can see the RKO logo on the Laserdisc copy of Cinderella, on the Laserdisc copy of the Masterpiece Collection of Cinderella. And of course, no THX logo. Of course, this wasn't made in THX. This is only one of two Laserdiscs I have in the Masterpiece Collection. And ignore all the warnings and everything, yada yada yada. Alright, put the Laserdisc back in. And there you go. That is two of my only Laserdiscs I have in the Masterpiece Collection. Alright, speaking of Pocahontas, that's the next tape we're going to go on to. This is the only movie that I have that has not gotten an update in the last 23 years. Probably one of my least favorite Disney films growing up, mainly because of what people claim to be many inaccuracies to the original Pocahontas. And probably for good reason, although I'm not going to go into that right now. The print date is December 17th, 1995. Okay. Next movie we have is Walt Disney's 22nd masterpiece, The Many Adventures of Winnie the... What the hell? The hell? Alright, wait a minute. There we go. Anyways, our next movie we have is Disney's 22nd film, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. This is a pretty much spliced version of all three of the short featurettes that came out in 1966, 68, and 74, which features the special commemorative edition of the original feature-length movie. Three cheers for Winnie the Pooh. Exactly right, wistful, sprightly, and often hilarious, says the New York Times. Includes special bonus footage, a memorable featurette with behind-the-scenes interviews with the original voices, animators, and musical composers. And of course, my copy has the vertical sticker label. I've talked with some people online, with many others, and from what I know, their copies also have the ink labels. The print date on this VHS is November 2nd, 1997. And yes, I am aware of Pooh's Grand Adventure, The Search for Christopher Robin. However, I do not at all consider Pooh's Grand Adventure as a Masterpiece Collection title, even though it does show the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection, the logo before the film itself, even though it was produced as sort of a direct-to-video TV movie. Honestly, I really do not consider Pooh's Grand Adventure to be a Masterpiece title, even though it contains the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection logo. But I digress. The next movie we have is the first film after Walt Disney's death, the Aristocats. I know for a fact that NG2C Network really likes this movie. And of course, this movie is very, very fun. Bursting at the seams with rib-tickling fun, says Entertainment Today. A timeless treasure, it was the last animated feature to get the nod from Walt Disney himself. Keep in mind that Walt Disney died during production of The Jungle Book, but this was the first film. But this was the last film to ever get his nod before he died. The print date is February 21st, 1996. Also, the first film that came out in 1970s. Alright. The very last film of the original Disney before the Renaissance kicked in 1989. Oliver and Company. With the singer Billy Joel as Dodger. And, of course, Robert Loggia as Bill Sykes, I suppose. Although he's just referred to as Sykes throughout the entire film. And that's Cheech Marin as Tito, and that's Bette Midler as Georgette. This, besides The Rescuers Down Under, was also one of my very favorite Disney films growing up. Unmistakably Disney and still the very best, says Joel Siegel of Good Morning America. This was the 27th film to come out of Disney, and like I said, this came out exactly around the time that The Land Before Time came out in 1988. The print date is July 8th, 1996. Also, one of the very few movies to feature the Masterpiece Collection logo with the announcer saying, "And now, our feature presentation." The only two movies that ever did that were this one and the Aristocats. Alright. Next movie we have, and this is the very first Disney tape to bear the THX logo. The fully restored 55th anniversary limited edition of Bambi, Disney's 5th film. This movie came out in 1942. Also, I have posted scenes to this movie before on one of my old accounts. A perennial classic, remembered long after other movies have been forgotten, says Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. This was also another personal favorite. Bambi 97, as I like to call it. As many people like to call this VHS tape. The print date is December 18th, 1996. Alright, the next movie we have is a movie that came out the year I was born, 1996. Disney's 34th animated masterpiece, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Probably the darkest of the Disney films for its homicide, for attempting sexuality and genocide, but still awesome nonetheless. The best Disney animated feature, says Beauty and the Beast, says Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. This movie, I'm not gonna lie, it's still awesome today. As for the sequel, I hate it, pretty much. The print date on this tape is January 26, 1997. I was only a year old. The movie itself came out in 1996, the year I was born, but it was also Breezy Ob Station 87's 9th birthday, pretty much. Alright. Fully restored, animated, limited edition 50th anniversary version of Fun and Fancy Free. I believe this was Disney's 8th masterpiece to come out. I didn't see very much of this movie growing up. Like I said, I didn't watch this movie very much growing up. Mickey was Walt and Walt was Mickey. Walt Disney was the original voice of Mickey Mouse, of course. And this also featured the Lucasfilm logo, although this was the first tape to bear the Lucasfilm limited version that would only be seen on Disney tapes. You have the THX logo with the description Lucasfilm Limited that can only be seen on Disney tapes around the time. Okay, we got two print dates here. We have April 16th, 1997 and March 31st, 1997. Super weird. Super weird bringing in two print dates, in my opinion. Alright. The final Disney film to ever come out in the 1950s. The fully restored limited edition of Sleeping Beauty, Walt Disney's 16th masterpiece. And of course, this is your standard Prince saves or hero saves princess story. Although this one is a lot more forgettable in my opinion. An unmatched vision of a world of pageantry, magic, and adventures is the Los Angeles Times. Probably my least favorite Disney princess is Princess Aurora. And we got some goodies here. What are the goodies? What are the goodies? What are the goodies? Before I put this tape away. Yada yada yada. Commemorative booklet. I can't really show you the booklet and hold the camera at the same time. And there's Walt Disney himself. Yeah, that chain smoker. I'm gonna piss a lot of people off by saying that. Mary Costa, the voice of Sleeping Beauty. Alright then. And animators Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnson work their magic on the Good Fairies. And this is Maleficent. There's animator Mark Davis. Also, this was the very first film to be shown as 4K widescreen. A much more letterbox widescreen. Okay, put this one back. And mail-in certificates, they expired in 97. Caffeine-free Coca-Cola, $5 weeb rate on any purchase of Sleeping Beauty of 1997. Save $5 by mail when you buy these two videos from the Walt Disney Film Classics or the Love Bug Collection. Yeah, the Love Bug had 4 movies. The first one, which is the Love Bug, Herbie Rides Again in 1973, Herbie Goes Bananas in 1978, and of course Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo was 1978, and Herbie Goes Bananas was, I think, 1980. I'm spending so much time with this VHS of Sleeping Beauty. This is a updated copy that I have. And save up to $50 on Play School products. I had no idea Disney did a deal with preschool to do these. Huh, that's weird. Disney Rewards program from 1997. Save this collector stamp to earn free Disney videos. Yeah, I'm not even sure this stamp works anymore. And of course we have the video shopping guide, which is the last booklet. Old Yeller. The 30th anniversary limited edition of The Jungle Book, which will come up next. Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas, which would come out in November 11th. And of course, the TV series, Bone Chillers, Brand Spanking New Doug, which came out the same year I was born, and Quack Pack, which also came out the same year I was born. Doug's Christmas, a Walt Disney Christmas. These are all updated versions of original releases that came out. Anyways, now we come to the tape itself. The print date is June 19th, 1997. Whew, that was a lot of work. That was a lot of work to take in. Alright. Next film we have is the last film before Walt Disney's death. The fully restored 30th anniversary limited edition of The Jungle Book. Another one of my favorite Disney movies growing up. Memorative music, imagined adventures, and a treat for all ages, says Dixie Whiteley of Channel 5, ABC Boston, Channel 5. The ABC Boston affiliate in Boston, Massachusetts. WCVB. Here is the tape itself. The print date is September 4th, 1997. This is the one of the only Masterpiece Collection that also has not had an update in the last 22 years. Alright. We have the fully restored 45th anniversary limited edition of Peter Pan. Peter Pan for 1,000, as my friends like to make that meme. THX certified, and this was the very last Disney film to be produced by RKO Radio Pictures before Buena Vista took over. Belongs in the home of every dreamer, young or old, says the union leader. Ha ha ha! Say your prayers, Hook! Here is the VHS. And the print date is January 18th, 1998. Okay, the next VHS is Disney's 35th anime classic, Hercules. Probably one of my least watched Disney films as well. And I have recently posted the full movie from a blank tape on my Internet Archive account. The hippest, most playful of them all, a hit of Olympic proportions, says WCBS TV in New York City. CBS 2. Here is the tape itself, and the print date is January 3rd, 1998. I was 2 years old when the Peter Pan and Hercules were printed. Alright, we have The Sword in the Stone, Disney's 18th animated masterpiece. Like I said, I was going to be chronological with these, and you'll see why I was trying to be as chronological as I was with these. Pure Disney Gold, says the New York Times. Here's the tape itself, and the print date is March 8th, 1999. Yeah, you see why I put this in the much later pile? Now you see why. Alright, we have Disney's 15th animated masterpiece, and the very first animated film to be distributed by Buena Vista Film Distribution. Lady and the Tramp. The Siamese cats, and there is Tramp and Lady. The fully restored. This VHS came out in 1998. One of Disney's most enduring classics is the Chicago Tribune. This is an alright film. Not one of my favorites, but it's alright. The print date is August 6, 1998. And we got some more reply cards here. What do we got here? An Amtrak Kids Free Ride on the Train. And another official mail-in certificate. Save $10 by mail when you buy any of these 3 General Mills cereals and 1 Betty Crocker participating product, plus Peter Pan or any eligible Disney video. Expires on April 16, 1998. Put that back. Put this back. And we have the Winnie the Pooh porcelain box collection. A picture of that. Another mail-in rebate. Bonus pool display. And a business reply card there. And there's Winnie the Pooh in a Christmas form. We have some Disney Christmas ornaments. And another business reply card. And the last one, official mail-in rebate. Save $5 by mail on Walt Disney animated classic Lady and the Tramp when you buy Ragu pasta sauce. Alright. That is the VHS of Lady and the Tramp. Alright. Next film is, this one came out on February 2nd, 1999, Disney's 36th animated masterpiece, Mulan. This was another favorite of mine growing up. Mulan is impressive achievement, ranking with Beauty and the Beast and the Lion King, says Roger Ebert. This film came out in the summer of 1998, and the print date was December 30th, 1998. Alright. Next VHS we have, and we are down to the wire here. We have Disney's 13th animated masterpiece, Alice in Wonderland. Probably one of the most batshit insane of the Disney trilogy. Spirited, charming, truly remarkable animation, says Saturday Review. It's a batshit insane world of Alice in Wonderland that makes no sense at all. The print date on here is April 13th, 1999. And we got some more mail rebate things. A free storybook of The Rescuers. Send yours today. See reverse side. Free storybook. Disney's Blast Online. Discover the magic. Go online with www.disneyblast.com/Mickey. I think this was supposed to be the prototype of Disney's Club Blast that was used for Windows 98 and Windows Millennium. Speaking of Windows Millennium, I still have that computer. But it's a desktop computer, though. And, of course, the official mail-in certificate of the free Disney Castle Playhouse. Expires on January 13th, 2000. Alright, we have Disney's 11th animated masterpiece, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, the 50th Anniversary Edition. This VHS was the final, I suppose, final Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection tape to have an accurate date of May 25th, 1999. Some of the finest work the studio has ever did, says Leonard Martin. Fantasy with all the Disney magic, says San Francisco Chronicle. I may have to speed this up here, my camera's running low on battery. And we got nothing. Here is the tape itself. And the print date is April 16th, 1999. This film was a spliced version of The Wind in the Willows with J. Thaddeus Toad and The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which were two mini classics at the time. Alright, we have another copy, a much later copy of Robin Hood. The only difference is this VHS came out in 1999. A full parade of all the Disney ingenuity, says the Daily Variety. Pretty much the same critique review from the earlier VHS. The print date is June 11th, 1999. Alright, we are on now to the Gold Classic Collection. These are only one of two Gold Classic Collections that I have. We have Disney's 8th film, Melody Time. No, Disney's 10th, excuse me, which features Donald Duck and the other two caballeros. I may have to see this film again. It's been a long time since I've seen this one. A Disney delight, says the Daily News. I can't really give my full opinion on this one. And we got some rebate stickers. Save $1 instantly on any one eligible Gold Collection video or DVD, which features Make Music Mine, Melody Time, A Goofy Movie, and Fun and Fancy Free. Those would come out on June 2001. Expires June 6, 2001, the manufacturer's coupon. And save $150 on Energizer batteries. Melody Time, we got a lot here. Look for these Gold Collection titles on video and Disney DVD. Mary Poppins, Alice in Wonderland, Robin Hood, The Rescuers Down Under, Hercules, and A Bug's Life. Alright, on to the tape. Here is the gold tape itself. Well, the tape's not really gold, I just said gold tape. And the print date is April 27th, 2000. Alright, on to the final tape. Walt Disney's 25th animated masterpiece, and probably one of the biggest Disney question marks or failures of all time, The Black Cauldron. Probably one of the weirdest films to come out of 1985. And this was the very first film to introduce the 1985 Walt Disney Pictures logo. That would be familiar to every 90s kid who grew up. This is the only VHS that has not had an update. Alright, and the print date is August 29th, 2000. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes my entire Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection, including the two Gold Classic Collection tapes. I hope you have enjoyed this entire collection, and I'll see you guys next time.